After a game like that, do you walk away from it feeling positive because the team largely played a pretty good game, or are you frustrated because that's a game that you could have or maybe should have had?
Yeah, I think what you do as a coaching staff is you review the game the next morning to confirm what you thought you saw, and you do your work and want to make sure you're seeing it clearly. I think that all comes down to believing in the process of playing the game the right way. And I thought yesterday we took steps towards that. There were real good moments in that game for us, and then there were a couple moments that got away from us. And, so I think there's teachable moments for sure, but there's also a lot of good stuff in there that we can build on as we move forward here.
I'm curious what your assessment is of your defensive group. It seems like through the first 3 games, there's been 1 or 2 kind of errors that have led to goals. What is your assessment of your defense and maybe some things that you guys need to do better?
Yeah, I think when I use the word defense, I would use the word team in front of it first. So it wouldn't be, pointing at one position or the other. I think we can check at a higher level. We've had good moments of checking, but not enough, and not enough consistency over a 60-minute game. But that to me is a team-wide thing. I think if you're looking at the game last night, to me, it came down to about 5 or 6 minutes in that second period where we probably could have checked a little bit better, could have made a few better decisions. It didn't go our way, and we were made to pay. But as I said, I think there's positives to be taken out of that game, and certainly there's some teachable moments as well.
I'm trying to do something on sort of team toughness and how it's changed so much over the years. So if we can agree that it's not about fighting anymore the way it once was.
Agreed.
How would you define sort of, when do you look at your team and say we've got enough team toughness, and where do you find it? I've heard you say the power play is a form of team toughness.
Yeah, I do think the power play is a way to keep the flies off, so to speak. I think, team toughness. I saw Warren Foegele stick up for a teammate yesterday. I thought that was a form of team toughness. I think we have more than enough people that are capable of taking care of themselves, or the ability to take care of teammates that may be put in a vulnerable situation. I think that evolves over time. You want to have a type of pack mentality where nobody gets taken advantage of. But at the same time, I think that's developed over a season as a team comes together.
So it becomes about grinding and about winning battles and about, not like even that 10-minute span in the second period, you guys make some, I don't know if I'm going to call them soft plays, but certainly plays that are dangerous and not the right play.
Yeah.
Does that have anything to do with what we're talking about?
Sure. I think, choosing hard is a form of toughness. And sometimes the play to be made is a hard play to be made. It might be a 50-50 puck battle. It might be getting the puck out along the wall under pressure. It might be going to the blue paint with authority at the offensive zone. It might be defending the blue paint in your own zone with authority. Those are all moments that pop up during the game. I think where our focus is as a team, as I said, I think there's been good moments. You could go back to the first game, probably the first 21 minutes of the Vancouver game, didn't go the way we wanted to, and certainly we got better as that game went on and found a way to win, and that was positive. There's probably 10, 12 minutes in the first period in the Calgary game that some different things happen that we'd want to have back. And then last game against Buffalo, I would narrow that down. I don't think it was 10 minutes. I think it was about 5 or 6 minutes that, certainly we could be better. We also understand that within a hockey game, two good teams playing at a very competitive level. Teams are going to have good moments. You build that into the game. It's the errors within our control that we think we can do a better job at as we move forward. And you never know when the most important minute of a game is. So it's important to make sure that you're alert and on your toes at all times.
Hi, Jay. Just any word on Holloway? You hate to see a guy get a hit like that, especially a guy that...
Yeah, you know what? Sorry for that. I don't have the official update. I did see him. He seemed to be in good spirits. He had blood on his nose, but I don't have the official update for you. If I don't get it for you by the end of the day, then certainly first thing in the morning, okay?
The third period, you guys put 23 shots on net. It wasn't. You guys talk about bearing down. Is that, like, what does that even mean? Like, is that a game that you probably should have won anywhere? Is there anything you can do in those situations where you've got the puck on your stick?
Well, you tip your hat to the other team because they did some good stuff too, and their goaltender had a heck of a game under a lot of duress. You know, I think we had multiple breakaways, odd numbered situations, second chance. We were around the paint, and they made it tough on us. Now, part of that is on us. We can be sharper and bear down. What does that mean? That means being ready to capitalize when the puck's on your tape. I think you worry when you don't get those chances, but I thought our team took a step forward in how we played that third period for sure.
Jay, you mentioned Warren Foegele's name a few minutes ago, and you kind of tasked him with some different responsibilities coming this year, maybe playing the different wing and penalty killing and stuff. How have you found him do in the early part of the season?
Yeah, I think obviously he had his injury kind of at the end of preseason, so that set him back a little bit. I thought he had a really good preseason, but he's healthy now, and he's played 2 games, and he's got to be feeling good about himself. I thought he did a lot of good things on the ice in all 3 zones. I thought he had some chances to score. He created for other people. He should feel good about where his game's at.
He was just saying that, you know, not everyone's a scorer, but he can find a role on this team. Do you see him having kind of an important role on this team, even if he's not putting the puck in the net?
Yeah, I think there's different ways to measure success in your own personal game, and it doesn't always come down to what the box score says. Sometimes it's making those hard plays that we were just talking about with Spec. It's getting a puck out. It's going to hard areas. It's finishing a check, those type of things. And I think Warren, even though he didn't score yesterday, he had a good game.
Hey, Jay. When a team is struggling to score, there's always a lot of talk about simplifying the game. But even today in practice, it seemed there was a lot of work in quick passes and traffic. I guess just where's your philosophy on what other teams should do when they are having issues with scoring?
Yeah, well, I would say we scored 10 goals in 3 games. That should be more than enough to have the success that you want to have. So I don't worry about our team, our offensive output. I think there's going to be nights like that when you run into maybe a hot goaltender. In terms of personal confidence for converting different types of opportunities, I think it's earned. I think you feel good about your shot in practice. You find yourself in rehearsed moments, and you work at it, and so that when the moment presents itself in a game, that you feel ready to convert. And today we did a lot of little small area skill stuff that I thought might help in that regard. But again, I go back to we scored 10 goals in 3 games. You know, we were putting a little bit more attention to those errors that we think we can clean up to keep more goals out of our net than worried about what we're putting in the other net.